Starting to the bottom right, the ace player for FXOpen.
FXO Hurricane.
Used to be known as Tier. His mom said, no, you're too fierce for that.
Starting to the top left after losing to Seed. The Zerg player who wants to show everyone what he's made of, that his Zerg versus Protoss is the best in the world. It is.
StarTale Life.
There's that life gas cancel. What he's known for. He'll do it every game, but he doesn't go for a pool before.
He is hungry. He's angry. He lost to Seed earlier. He wants to win it right now. Wants to show it to everyone.
And here comes that probe. Very early scout here for Hurricane. Identifies what's going on. Will force the pool first.
And we talked about Life a lot. A 75% win ratio in the matchup. Defeated the best Protoss players in the entire world, but still lost to Seed earlier. Let's talk a little bit about Hurricane. 30 maps played, 17 won, 13 lost, a 56% win ratio. And he has a pretty decent run. Played the odds against, like, rather... I don't want to say, like B-teamers, I would say. B-team level Zerg players in the recent past. He won against Impact in the GSTL, by the way, so he won his match here against the Axiom Acer Zerg player. He, in the Hong Kong esports tournament, he took down King Kong twice, which is I think King Kong was at some... Is he still Prime?
He was on StarTale for a while. I don't know where he's at now.
Yeah, I might actually mix him up.
He's basically a C-teamer.
Yeah, so Hurricane has decent records in the matchup, but against the bigger names, he usually loses. He lost against Symbol, he lost against Kangho, he lost against Effort. So against big Zerg players in the past, he lost most of his matches. He also lost to Life, as I mentioned before, in April in a best of 3 series with an 0-2. But now it's a different game, and this is the match that counts. So if Hurricane takes it here, then all the pass is going to be forgotten and forgiven, and Shoya will probably, I don't know, make maybe a little bit of a ceremony ends. I don't know.
Listen, if FXOpen wins this team match, just the hype of how exciting that is for Choya is like on the highest level. Nice hatch here by Life, gets away from the probe. But this is the last day for FXOpen using that name under that sponsor, and it's a really important match. And the odds are stacked against them. The player picks they got, the way that the picks went were not the best for them. And still, able to take some of these very important wins. And I got to say that, if FXOpen is able to win this, StarTale is going to be crushed as well. So, especially Life, who will, of course, then lose twice and hurt his ever so high Protoss versus Zerg, or Zerg versus Protoss, I should say, win ratio. So, keeping the scout up here with the Zergling. Wants to see a +1 is being researched. Of course, it's not time yet, but he will continue to scout that. He's also got the Overlord there. And Life actually only has one Overlord at the base. That limits his scouting information pretty significantly.
The thing is that, of course, Hurricane saw the match that Life has played earlier, and he talked to Seed as well. And he saw that a good offense or good defense against Life is really one of the things that can win you the game. But Life might also just not try to be as aggressive as he was in the game against Seed.
Yeah.
The problem with Life is that, as we mentioned before, sometimes he just gets a bit too confident, and if he takes this very serious, then I feel Hurricane is going to have a tough time. If Life gets... I don't know, if he overextends and tries to end it too early, then Hurricane has a pretty decent chance, but let's see what actually Hurricane is going to do. 3 gates on the way already, so...
Yeah, 3 gates.
That's usually the type of play that Life likes to go up against.
Yeah, the thing is, on this map, you can't use your gateways to wall your third. You just can't. You could put them next to your Nexus and wall off a cannon. But, so this could just be him taking the third base with the gates in the main. Actually, just like Seed did. Seed wanted to hit a timing, but this looks more like Hurricane wants to just use the gates to expand and hold off any Ling aggression that he faces and make another wall at the third base. Because, like you said, attacking into this is attacking into Life is so hard to make work. He's just such a great defensive player.
Yeah, and Life already changing things up here a little bit. He's not playing as aggressive as he did in the game against C. He's joining up a lot more heavily, getting the Overlord in once again, getting the first scouting information here. And has the Lings at the front too, so you will see a move out immediately.
Yep. And as such, I think that it's just going to be a third Nexus. Brings the probe here. And there's a Ling actually waiting for the probe. He'll deny for a little bit.
He knows that there's now a third base coming up, and this is one of those timings that Hurricane really likes. He's one of the Protoss players that really loves to go for that 720, 730 Nexus timing that he saves with a couple of sentries here. So that's kind of his style. We saw him play the exactly same game against a lot of other Zerg players in the past. He also used it, if I'm not mistaken, against Impact. And for life, this basically means either aggression or...
Yeah. And I think... You know what's funny is he adds Spore Crawlers here, 3 of them. And that's going to be a good defense against anything in the air or DTs. But this just goes to show Life's ability to play safe. Despite the fact that he's an aggressive player, he decides when he wants to be aggressive, and he just like sees blood in the water and he goes. But right now he's still playing in defense mode. Unfortunately for him, the Spore Crawler is not going to help against this light pressure coming through. He only has 10 roaches on the way, and they're not ready yet. How many links does he have? I don't think he has a lot, and this is looking really scary because the force fields on the Queen are perfect. He kills the Queen right away.
And he might actually also kill that third base. The force fields are absolutely incredible. The few roaches that pop out here can't do a whole lot. And the rest is now finally moving in from the side, but that third is already in trouble. There's no Queen for transfused reinforcements coming in.
The roaches are just too small in number. He can't defend this base. He loses roaches.
Wow.
Life is in trouble.
Lost the base, and Hurricane with a perfect move goes in, snipes the third, and TP's back.
Well, at least one sentry there killed by Life. Zerglings that were waiting. But as it is now, he's got a third base. The Zerg player doesn't. You know, Life is on 2 bases, no macro hatch. He doesn't have enough units to actually counterattack. And the Hurricane is massively ahead in this game now. I mean, Life basically has to hope that his Roach speed finishes and gives him something here with his +1.
This seems to be like Life's off day so far. He lost against Seed, and this is the best matchup. He uses Burrow really well. There's no Observer just yet. He casts the modal pops out and he immediately starts one Observer.
Starts a second cannon here because he knows he needs that detection if the first one goes down.
But Life, as you already said, he needs to make something happen. He immediately went for a double expansion because he needs a third, he needs a fourth, he needs something. He needs to take a risk here. He goes for the Zerglings now as well, but this did not start as he wanted it to.
This is really terrible for him. And he starts the Pathogen Glands. And that is one tech advantage that he has, is there is no Robotics Bay coming up just yet. Blink, on the other hand, comes first. But man, is Hurricane in a good spot now. He could actually continue to pressure. All he has to do is make sure he has enough energy for a recall, and he could go back out on the map again. He just has that mobile force. It's a stalker-heavy army with plenty of sentries to back it up. He didn't lose all. He lost only 1 sentry, but the rest of the sentries from earlier are still alive, and they're still useful. You know, we're still at that point of the game.
The entire FXOpen is glued to the monitors right now. They are so far really, really happy, but this game is not over just yet. Life currently looking at 80 army supply against 53. We have Lings and Roaches making up the biggest part of his composition, but the tech for Hurricane is good. Once again, here we have a force skill, a great force skill at that, and the Observer comes in. Burrow not useful anymore, and all of the Roaches go down. The force fields of Hurricane in the game so far have been incredible, not only here at the ramp, but also when he attacked that third base.
Yeah, you see its teammate, he's showing it. Nice flank here by Life. I mean, not flank, but run by, I should say. He does not have a lot of units at home, and there's a recall possible. I think he's just going to go ahead and recall right now.
The recall is possible. He's walking home as we speak. That Mothership core on the way. Bam, there goes the first cannon. The second one is about to fall, and those things are going to town at the probes. That Immortal is absolutely out of position. That's not where he wants to be. Pops out of the robotics at the wrong time in the game.
Yeah, that was a really, really important move here by Life. This is exactly what he needs. Pick off an Immortal, you know, force the running back, because he took a risk with the double expand there. And
he gets into the natural, but moves back. That could be a blink. Not yet. Blink not done.
Not quite finished yet, but that was great for Life. You know, cost efficiency-wise, no, it was not the best, but he got his Infestors out. He's building the energy on those. He's got the fourth base secured. He can take the gases there. And now, rather than pushing out to try to take out a base, Hurricane looks poised to try to take a fourth instead, and to sit back and get his Colossi out.
Yeah, but talking about the tech, you mentioned the Colossi already, and Life does not have a Spire, so he has to rely on what he has on the ground. That is not a lot. If the Colossi get a good position, then
he basically has to rely on Infestors only, and the Colossi aren't with this army, but a good blink, just like we saw from Seed, could actually isolate some of those Infestors, and he's got actually a great position here. He sees it, he could trap Life's army.
Life is sending reinforcements in on the other hand, so Hurricane has to be careful that this doesn't work against him.
Oh yeah, this actually could be really, really bad.
Oh, the timing is so important. important right now. Life could just try to go in from every single angle possible. He's trapping a few units with a fungal here, taking out a couple of the stalkers at the same time. The roaches come in from the right side. He's trying just to get the perfect angle on this army. The infestors are going for the fungal, but the rest, the force field.
He turns it around and he goes to the blink and he traps some of the roaches here on second force, so we get them. He does time warp instead.
Oh, he gets the force field and here comes the Boro, but there's so many immortals and the Colossus there too.
And he blinks in on top of the
Oh
roaches.
my
The
God.
observer is there. He's got +3 on the way. He's a whole set of upgrades ahead. Infestor run by Hero. Be stopped by cannons. The Infestor's dying for free.
Oh god,
And that
I
may be
think
game.
Life is mistaking Halloween with Christmas. He's giving Hurricane all kinds of present right now. That ramp was also so deadly for all these roaches. Twice the force field cutting the army in two parts and taking out half of them.
And maybe Halloween, man, but there's no treat for Life here, only tricks. And that base is gone. There's no drones left to saturate it. And
Probes are being taken out, but only a couple of those. The cannon is being built. Stalkers just waiting for those roaches to reappear again. Army supply is dead even, but the composition is just so good for Hurricane here. That fort is gone, and Hurricane, he's out for blood. He wants to go in and take that game. Take the entire match for FXOpen.
perfect fungals, but perfect fungals still aren't enough. He needs an army, and he doesn't have one. Time warp goes down, Infestors are following the drones. They look cute, but that's about it.
Here come those fungals and those drones. This is a desperation move that we see from Life. He lost against Cena, and it looks like he's going to lose against Hurricane as well. Hurricane in the ace match is going to take the game against Life. He's 50 supply ahead. He doubles the army supply of his opponent. He takes the fight. He takes the match. He takes the entire battle.
GG!
End game. Oh my god. Life destroyed twice in his best matchup. Hurricane, he takes it. FXOpen, they are celebrating here. And Seoul is gonna be very, very sad.
Very, very sad indeed, but the atmosphere in the studio here is great. The fans are screaming and cheering, and what a crazy way for today to end. You know, a Protoss player beats Life twice, two different players. These Protoss brothers sticking together, playing similar styles, great micro, and Life has got to be so frustrated. He failed his team today.
He was hungry after the loss against C. He wanted to show everybody what he's made of. And then he goes down against Hurricane. He was probably really happy when he saw Hurricane coming out. Hurricane probably more designed to face Bomber than Life, but he makes it happen. And Choya, the relief on his face.
Wow, what a day, what a finish. And FXOpen takes the 4-3. Choya played today. Choya played once, lost the game, but he played the right player. At the end of the day, he played Tyr, and Tyr was able to take that win. And it was a sound choice. At the end of the day, sound choice. Seed takes the win, Tyr takes the win, Hurricane, that is to say, and wow, and StarTale is probably thinking, I cannot believe we lost this match. They did everything they needed to do against us. They beat us. Life failed the team as the ace match, the ace player. And wow, I'm just actually a little bit in shock.
Life lost in one day now more matches against the Protoss than he did in the last few months.
Yes, that's actually, as funny as you put it, true.
StarTale is definitely not happy with this.
Yeah, Tyr is just, of course, reenacting his victory with hand signals, talking about how happy he is. And Life is like not even ready to leave the booth. He's probably looking at pictures of things that make him happy. Either that or watching the replay, one of the two.
I actually have to correct myself. Like, I got an update earlier that Seoul could actually overtake StarTale.
Are you serious? I didn't actually know that.
We have to have a quick look at it when we have the standings, but that's what people told me like earlier, so it might actually true. The thought never really occurred to me that StarTale might be one of the teams that drops down this far. But yeah, we're gonna have a closer look at it a little bit later. For now, on the other hand, Seoul at least can't get past FXOpen anymore. If I'm not mistaken, like the chances are really, really slim. But yeah, that is the result. When I saw the lineups today, I did not expect this to happen.
And that was not a normal day for Seed. That was not a normal day for Hurricane. They were both just on fire. You know, they played really, really well. Incredible play. Like, their adrenaline was pumping. Like, they were feeling it. They were in the zone. They knew how to play against Life. They both clearly prepared to play against Life and know how to deal with his style.
Yeah, the thing with Life just was like when he saw the third base, he thought, okay, there's nothing coming my way. He saw the third base coming up and he's like, okay, I can drone. I have all the time in the world. And then this attack comes in. And he's like, well, I do not have anything. The force fields were perfect. That queen trap was just incredible. The queen goes down immediately, not wasting any time there. Then he traps the rest of the army as well, takes down Edge, immediately just goes with the Mothership Core back to the base, goes for the recall, and that was exactly what he needed.
I mean, yeah, he didn't have a macro hatch that early in the game, because why would he? He didn't have any lings, so the roaches that came out died one by one.
이거 보세요. 뜨거운 박수 나옵니다. 너무나
some very, very excited fans, and let's see what these guys have to say. Starting things off, of course, with Choya.
오랜만에 부스에 들어가서 경기를 했잖아요. 어떻게 좀 연습실에서
Even though you lost today, your team was able to win.
나왔는지 또
How did it feel playing in the booth since you haven't played in such a long time?
그 이유가 무엇인지, 동기가 무엇인지 궁금하거든요.
그냥 뭐 실력이 없어서 진 거고요. 뭐 연습실 어쩌고저쩌고 그런 거 다 핑계고 프로게이머 나와서 지면 지는 거니까 너무 실력적으로 부족한 걸 느꼈고 대만이 형 말대로 아마 GSTL 다시는
So he said, like, he says, honestly, I lost because I don't have enough skill to defeat my opponents right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's...
Then it bears the question, why did you not send in Lucky, like, or Gumiho? I would love them to ask that as a follow-up.
I think that might be your next question.
요번 스타테이전 딱 하기 전에 잡혔어요 지금.
And basically what he's saying is the team atmosphere is not very good right now because they're losing their sponsor, obviously, and a lot of players are discussing with each other for future plans. And he's being like very honest with us right now. And he wanted to come out today as a player, as a team coach and a player, to win a game and be a motivator for the team atmosphere. And he wasn't able to do it. He feels sorry about it. And every other player was able to perform well for his team, so at the end of the day it was okay.
Alright.
But you know,
He wanted to pull a crank.
Yeah, and the thing is, that's actually really smart. He failed at it, but it's... I respect the idea, you know, I respect the idea.
Yeah, I like the idea, but like Choya should realize that he's not Crank. Like Crank is first player than a coach, or at least for like the most of the time. I don't know.
Yeah, Choya's kind of doing things on his own right now, of course, after the FXOpen sponsor is gone, so he doesn't have time to play as much as Crank. At least I wouldn't expect. Yeah. You still have a chance to go into the playoffs. What is your goal going forward into the GSTL the rest of the season?
지금 팀 상황도 좀 힘들어졌고 저희가 좀 어려울 때마다 항상 GSTL 성적이 좋더라고요.
So last season they were not able to get into the playoffs, and they were really sorry for the fans.
뿐만이 아니라 요새 액션에이스 기세가 너무
But they are very desperate this season, as everybody knows. Of course, once again, talking about the sponsorship here. So they are gonna give their best to really get into the playoffs and just show everyone that
말들이 너무 또 마음에 와닿습니다. 팀 사정이 조금 좋지 않을 때 오히려 TL에서 좋은 성적이 나왔다. 지금도
Choya actually being like one of the most honest people I've ever seen in his interviews, actually, compared to some of the other coaches.
자, 이어서 오늘 또 멋지게
I mean, he's just putting it all out there. He's saying the truth. I really like that.
축하드립니다.
네, 감사합니다.
Interview with Hurricane, of course, the ace player.
선수 상대로 승리를 가져갔고
he won both of his matches today.
Yes, he did.
승리를 가져갔단 말이에요. 마지막에 지지 딱 받고 나서 어떤 느낌 들었어요? 누가 가장 생각났고?
So that's exactly what they ask him right now. They said like, okay, you got 2 wins today. What did you feel when the GG was called in the last game in the ice match?
그래가지고 그 준비한 만큼 스트레스도 많이 받고 했는데.
He prepared very hard for today's matches, even harder than any other match he's prepared for GSTL. He's very stressed out actually coming into today's matches because he wanted to do really, really well for his team. And that actually makes it, like for him, he feels so much better about the win. Just because he puts so much into it, he feels like he gets so much more out of it. And you know, there's that feeling when you prepare really well for a match and you do everything like you planned. When a plan comes together, there's very few better feelings.
I would really like to know what their thought process was, if they wanted to send out Hurricane versus Bomber, or if they didn't really care.
Yeah, we didn't really get into that too much on that question. A lot of players are using Stargate against Zerg recently, but both Seed and yourself You guys didn't really use Stargate at all. Is it because you're playing against Life, or it's just your style, you know, differentiating from other Korean Protoss players?
이거 약간 숨기고 있는 느낌이 듭니다.
그냥 그렇게 넘어가자고요.
He said it's the team's color.
전력은 숨겨야 되니까.
네.
근데 항상 이동영 선수와 이제 얘기를 하다 보면은 남규영 선수 불사조 때문에 이게 살 수가 없다 이런
And the
얘기가
Korean
많아요.
commentators is joking that it seems like they're trying to hide strategies until later.
보시는 분들의 판단에 좀 맡겨야 될 것
Shuttle lead
같습니다.
out.
뭐
The marker.
색깔이 바뀌었을 수도
Maybe he made a cheer for the first team. We didn't see it.
경기력으로 저희가 확인하도록 하겠습니다. 남기웅 선수 중요한 역할을 해내면서 FXOpen 이제 승리 따냈거든요. 마지막으로 각오 한마디 부탁드리겠습니다.
제가 지금까지는 이제
So he's being asked what exactly his goal is in the GSTL. Going out on a limb, I would say, to win.
항상 잘하는 모습만 보여주는
Yeah.
Same as Choya's.
선수가 되겠습니다. 그리고
He says he had some up and downs in the GSTL, but from today forward, I want to be a steady player, performance well in every match. He's looking for consistency, and of course he wants to win, but like just to say I'm trying to be more
I
consistent.
might be wrong, but I think he's actually one of the more consistent players in the GSTL already. Like, I might really be wrong here, but like, if I can remember correctly what I looked up earlier, then he has like in the recent 5 matches, like 1 loss in the GSTL.
I think so. So hearing from Seed now, and I think it's actually really good that we get to hear from Seed because he was really pivotal. Had he lost, then it would have all been over before he even got to the ace match.
어떠셨어요?
So you lost all 5 recent GSTL matches before you won today. How do you feel?
5연패했다는 거고
네.
그 외에도 개인 리그조차 지금 제가 코드 A를 올라갔다 떨어졌다 지금 한 4번째 반복하고 있거든요.
맞아요.
그러니까 다 지고 있었어요. 거의
So he's saying that he's doing really, really poor in the GSTL and also in individual league
진짜
these
꼭
days.
1승만 하고 싶었어요. 그냥
네.
그래가지고 진짜
He's
열심히
basically saying exactly what I mentioned earlier already, that he does well in the qualifier and goes into the Challenger League, but every single time he loses in the first round and then he goes back down into Code B and has to re-qualify, so he's a little bit stressed out about that and practicing a lot.
이렇게 약간 이렇게 비방을 하시더라고요.
Some fans apparently told him to quit gaming
악이 올라가가지고
and he felt really bad about it.
진짜 원래 하루에 한 40게임씩 하던 거를 한 70게임
And because he was feeling really bad about it, he got really, really angry and started to practice a lot more than that. So apparently before that he played like 40 games a day, and then after he read that, he started to actually play 70 games a day instead. So he kind of thanks the fan that kind of dissed him, told him to quit gaming, because he said like, this guy made me so angry that I just started to practice even more.
Guys, I'll tell you that if you think some of the internet comments you've seen on Reddit and on Team Liquid are mean, like you have not seen PlayXP and some of the other Korean websites. He said he wants to thank all the Zerg players that he hit in the ladder because they helped him prepare today. So he's really just grinding and preparing hard. And I like to hear that because I want to see Seed back in the Challenger League. I want to see him jump up to the Premier League.
Like if you're a player or like if you're any kind of esports personality, it doesn't matter if it's a player, comp player or whatever, the first thing that you have to learn is actually have a really thick skin and all things. Like you remember when that threat was from North Korea? But just saying, like, so he was practicing so hard, he's actually gonna take a rest today, and he's gonna practice very hard starting tomorrow again, and show his fans that he's still able to win broadcasting matches.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely deserves a rest, and this is actually
that's
like
not a long rest. It's already like 9 o'clock. So.
yeah. Well, this is basically Seed saying like, look forward to me because I'm back and I'm coming with a vengeance. His first goal, you know, and FXOpen was to come to the playoffs and then become the champions. So please keep cheering for us going forward.
노력은 배신하지 않는다. 이런 말도 진짜 여러 가지로 좀 의미를.
The Seed's victory, I think, probably the most pivotal match today.
Yeah,
it was like the most important. And Hurricane against Life, of course, also incredible. But like, so.
That was like they couldn't have got there without Seed because Tastar was not going to cut it.
Could argue that Life single-handedly lost it for StarTale today.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. You know, his team needed him, and he wasn't able to do it today. You know, on most days he does it, but today he didn't. And it wasn't really so much that he was off; it was that Hurricane and Seed were on. I feel really great play from them. It's taking it up to the next level.
Actually, Life now coming out as the ace twice and losing. Like he came out
that's true.
He came out against Seoul, against Dia, lost the match. Now he comes out twice here and loses those matches too. So yeah, definitely not the best track record in the GSTL for him right now. That's something where he will have to work on. Here are the results once again. The match at Relic Watch are probably the most important one today.
I gotta say, I really like. There's a lot of chance and luck sometimes in this format, but it does certainly provide really tense and close matches a lot of the time, much more than the all-kill format does. So I'm actually enjoying this. It's our first time actually using this format in the GSTL, and doesn't mean that it's better, but it's certainly like interesting and different, and I like it a lot.
I like it, but I still prefer the elimination system.
I like having both.
It has more dynamic.
There certainly is definitely more dynamic and less chance in that format than in this one.
Here are the standings.
Yeah, this is basically, if you look at it, yeah, actually, I suppose if StarTale loses everything, I'm not actually sure. Like, I need to think about this more. I can't look at this chart.
There was an analysis that StarTale has to lose twice, then Zubu and FXOpen have to tie a certain way. Apparently, there's like still a chance for Seoul, so they're not out just yet, apparently. But yeah, going through it would kind of, without having it on screen, really.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but like when you look at those standings, you get a good picture of where everybody is right now and who is closer to falling out and who is, you know, for example, looking at Action Maester.
But StarTale went from a really good position in.
There's no match on Tuesday, and the finals date has been moved. So expect an update on all of that. But the next match will be on Thursday. No matches on Tuesday.
Yeah, so the next match is in exactly 1 week, and it's going to be FXOpen versus Team Zubu.
Yeah, so make sure you tune into that one, FXOpen. Having a week to get ready to place against the team that's in second place right now. Not going to be an easy one, but, well, they took out StarTale. They could take this one as well.
Yeah. Good win in there, and it's going to be very important for them, of course, as they also mentioned in the interview, so they will definitely practice a lot for this. Have a lot of preparation time for that, of course, too. So it should be an interesting one.
Yeah, and just to remind everyone, like one last time, this is the last official day of them as FXOpen, so they probably have some announcements coming up as to like what's going to happen soon. I'm sure Choya's got a lot of things planned.
I actually don't even know how they are going to end the season. If they will still run under FXOpen?
I think probably not. I think they'll actually switch the name. But you know, it's I'm not talking to Choya about it. He's got his own secret plans. I guess we're all going to find out. You know, next week.
Yeah. They had a pretty good start today. I mean, they just took down StarTale, so once again, StarTale at the beginning of the season, one of the teams that everyone thinks they could make their way to victory and maybe even dominate the season, and right now they're in a little bit of a predicament after losing to FXOpen, so they definitely have to step it up. We're going to find out pretty soon if they're able to do that in the next batch. For now, FXOpen, of course, the team of the hour, and they will also play next week against the Zubu, as mentioned earlier. That should be interesting to watch, and maybe they can even win against the Zubu. Who knows?
Yeah, definitely a possibility. Zubu is a strong team, but they have fallen to, you know, several teams in the past, but people didn't expect them to.
Axa just recently, and Axa kind of crushed them, so Zubu also very eager to make up for that. We will have that match in 1 week's time, so guys, I hope you enjoyed today's games, and we're going to see you next week with Zubu going up against FXOpen.
My progression is my profession. I'm doing with a 9. My mama's trying to kick, and my sister, she doing fine, and I'm making my way through life, no longer blinded.